That's after the show.
We're live.
Okay, go. We're live now. What did you use as a thumbnail?
I guess you'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. Hi, April.
What's up, April?
How is April this evening? What is up?
Hey, Mark.
Mark. Western Kansas. I thought Kansas was going to have... No, it was Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Anyway, I don't know.
Cooking dinner. It's a little late for that, isn't it, April?
What you cooking?
What up? Oh, there goes.
I wonder if that's going to get us demonetized.
What?
Or look in the backdrop.
Oh. How about you go move it real quick? Go dogs. You know, I hate that we're not being able to watch it right now. Because Odessa is watching it, but obviously we're not able. Kiki Gardens, what's up? Waiting for my daughter to get back from.
Nothing to see here.
Chicken, rice, and gravy. We had that the other night at...
Nothing to see. Nothing to see. There was nothing in the backdrop.
I have to move my chair some here.
There was nothing in the background.
So, yeah. It's all in your imagination. We had chicken and rice and gravy at church the other night.
Yes, we did.
It was pretty good.
So, while we're waiting everybody to get in here, let us go ahead and start off by saying thank you to all of our sponsors, LogOx with their forestry toolkits, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds at rareseeds.com, Gallagher Electric Fencing. You get a 10% coupon.
Hey, Yellow
in the
Rose.
description. And Steck and Coyote and McMurray Hatchery. Plus, we'd also like to give a big a big shout out to our channel members. Mm-hmm. They will be the ones that you will recognize with a little icon beside their name. Yep. We got Mama Z's Texas Kitchen in the house. We have Copper Kettle Farms in the house. We have Mind and Body Company in the house. We are missing lemonades. Making lemonade
from lemons. And there's somebody else. Luke.
I am not your father.
Shout, let it all out. That's it.
Yeah. So, also, happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sister veterans out there.
And happy belated birthday.
I was going to get there. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for your service. And yes, you did all that you could do. You did the best job that you could do.
But
also, thank you and happy 248 years United States Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Marines. Devil dogs, leathernecks, two for hundreds. We celebrated the Marine Corps birthday here a little bit at the house last night, and you know that point where you know this drink is too much. You
said that to me this morning. You're like, when you know.
You had one too many. Yeah, well, I had two more after that last night, and it was just having a good time.
So Crystal wants to know, how was your crayon cake?
Crayon cake was amazing.
It was really good.
It was a carrot cake.
It was with buttercream icing.
Yes, it was amazing.
But Ladessa took the time to, she had me go get food coloring, and she mixed up a bunch of different colors, and she made a crayon box, and then she made different colored crayons. I mean, it was really, 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 really cute. So Liam is 8.
What?
Oh my god.
I'm so old.
Oh, I feel so old.
Happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday, Liam. That's awesome.
Okay, wait. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Really?
Happy birthday to Leo. Ow. Brain injury. Happy birthday to you. I love her new channel name.
Amanda Rib of Palmetto. That's awesome. So, what's her name? Why am I drawing a blank? Misty. Misty said, "Can I just say how much I have been loving your shorts?" Well, I'm glad that y'all love those shorts, because they're
Is it my
fun to
Pikachu
make.
shorts?
No. The singing. I mean the video shorts, not the singing shorts. Crystal said, "You ain't living if you haven't heard Jason sing the Marilyn Monroe version like he did for Yellow Rose." So he said, "Thank you." Well, that was nice. Donald from the other side of my shed. What the heck are you listening to? It sounds like a dog in misery. What's that howling I hear? I'm just getting over that. Why did you remind me?
What's up, Southern Bliss?
Oh, I am so glad to see some of these faces in here. We have been missing y'all.
Yeah, we went and did the Veterans Day parade with the superheroes today,
Which was a very early morning for us.
Yeah.
We had to be out of the house by 6:30 this morning.
Yeah, that means chores done, everything all on the road before 6:30. But anyway, it rained.
Yes.
How can I say this?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
The trailer.
Oh. So
was
normally we walk in this thing. But they had this great idea that with as long as it was, that it would be good if we had a float.
I'll put it this way. The trailer was a trailer that the Marine Corps would use. So any of you that are in the...
I will say, though, you made it sound like all of the wooden planks were going, like we were going to fall. And it really wasn't that bad. I was more concerned about the fact that it was basically a landscaping trailer, if that.
No, that was a car trailer.
And it was a car trailer because it had the little ramps that came up. But the thing was...
And it was raining.
It was raining, and so that wood was like slick.
It was slicker than Alschnot, y'all.
And we have the guy that was driving, just to give you an idea of who was driving, this guy once told us...
Well, you win some, win some.
No, he said, and I quote,
well, he said
there's different definitions of brake checking.
So that was interesting.
And we found out what those different definitions of brake checking were today.
What's going on? Miss Patty's in the house.
Yeah, that's Mac's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac's in here too.
Oh, cool.
See, he's Southern Blessed Homestead.
Yeah.
And she's Patty SBH.
Awesome. So then after the parade.
After we finished the parade, which after it was done, they really didn't.
We went on a different parade after it was done. Because Win Some wasn't done. He felt like we needed to see more of downtown Augusta.
On the bad side, like on the.
It was interesting, because even the cops were like, "What are we?" The cops didn't even know what to do. They were like,
just let him go.
Just let him go.
Just let him go.
Let him go. There's like 20 grown people on that trailer, so what are we gonna do?
That was awful.
And so we took a tour of downtown Augusta.
And we're like surfing because every time because here's the thing. There were all of us on the back of this trailer. We weren't secured in any way, shape, or form. There wasn't like
I was secured in.
Well, yeah, you were.
I was on Big Jeff.
But he sees a sign that says speed limit 35, and he's like, gotta go the speed limit. So we're all riding down the middle.
Capes everywhere. It was just all you see. Poor Ladessa, because Robin was in front of Ladessa. Robin was being Thor, and the cape was up. Robin couldn't see because Batman's cape was in the face. I was over here hugged up by beside Big Jeff. Big Jeff is the guy the one I tell you about that's like huge, but he's like this down here tall. See. And you're going to keep messing around, and we're going to have problems, Jason, so you're going to put on this ice. But there was Kate, and all you see is Dessa's little hands doing this number, trying to get the cape out of her face.
And then falling backwards.
And
that was hilarious.
So we did that.
Well, and then the best part about it is, as we're riding down, everybody else thinks this is comical. So they're all riding up beside us, honking horns, waving, filming. Yeah. I'm sure there is YouTube video footage somewhere.
There's a TikTok somewhere. Poor Ladessa going.
That was so. We finally get back there. I was wearing like what I'm wearing right now. It's literally an adult onesie. Like it's a shirt and pants all together, which was ideal for wearing under the suit that I was wearing, but not so much when it's time to go to the bathroom. So before we got on the float, I had gone to the bathroom, but right before I had to go again. And I'm like, I can hold it. It'll be okay. So we got all the way through, and then I'm thinking we're just going to turn around and come back. And then he takes this like 20-minute detour through downtown.
To the point where I was like, we're going to be on the news. We're going to be on the news because we're all going to get arrested. And I'm like, how do we get on I-85 in South Carolina?
That's awful.
But
so then we get back to the parking lot, and then they're like, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I don't care what y'all do. So I had to run up to the gas station, and we came back, and then it was decided.
Then we decided that we were going to go to the VA hospital and visit the veterans.
One of our guys that dresses out with us actually works there as a respiratory therapist.
Now let me give. I want to put this image in y'all's brain, because if I got to see it every time with superheroes, I just think y'all should be blessed with it too. He plays Captain America.
And you know Captain America's like buff, right? He's not huge.
Y'all remember when
he's buff, right?
When Captain America wasn't Captain America, and he was like that big around?
Yeah.
See, that's our Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
I call him Captain Rhode Island because
he's not big enough to be Captain America.
He's not big enough to be Captain America. He's like tiny and skinny. So he works at the VA in the respiratory clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, We've been doing the superhero thing for 12,
Hey, Broussard, what's up?
12 or 13 years
Broussard.
now.
And we always go to meet children.
And I've gotten hardened, I guess would be the best word, or desensitized.
A little desensitized, maybe.
To the kids.
Mm-hmm. Because you've been doing it for so long that you expect it. You kind of know what you're going to see. And...
It bothers me still. Don't get me wrong. It bothers me still, and it breaks my heart to see the children sick. But today really messed me up.
That was rough.
It brought me to tears today. And it wasn't because these men and women were sick or injured and they were in the hospital. It was because some of them, they were alone. They had nobody there with them. And
now we went to two pretty tough areas. One was a spinal cord injury. Apparently Augusta has the second largest or the first largest spinal cord injury floor and program in the country. And so a lot of people come from all over the place. Yeah. So that could be why some of them are there alone. But with these spinal cord patients, you're talking about people who have tubes sticking out of their neck because they can't even breathe for themselves. Several of them that are in chairs that are being guided by their mouth, all of this stuff. And that was kind of difficult to see. And then we went to the critical care unit, where again, you had quite a few. There were several that I guess were going through COVID or something similar, and so they had to be completely quarantined, so we couldn't even go into the rooms. Like, there were 2 layers of sliding glass doors to get to them. Like, there was basically a sliding glass door, then an area to get dressed, and then another sliding glass door to get into the room. So we weren't even allowed to go through that first glass. But thank goodness they were glass, so we could still... My favorite, and you weren't there for this because I think you were behind me, is Brian, Superman. He went walking in, and he was like, "Well, hello, sir." And the guy's like, "Goodbye." We're like, "Okay, we'll keep going." He's like, "Hello." He's like, "Goodbye." Like,
now, I wanted to share that with y'all this evening, not to toot our own horn because we're going out and doing the stuff with the superheroes, but to challenge you. We're getting ready to enter the winter, and that's what our topic is going to be about tonight. But I challenge everybody in here, find a day, one day a month. If you can do more, do more. Find one day a month and go to your VA hospital. Now, that may mean you might have to travel. For us, it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half.
What's up, Jonathan?
And just talk to the nurses there and ask them, hey, is there somebody in here that
doesn't have anybody,
doesn't have a visitor? Mm-hmm. And go talk to them. Go hang out with them for a little while. You will not be disappointed because, and I'm going to share this example with you, and then we'll go on into the show for tonight, what we got lined up for y'all. We went into one lady's room, and you can tell just by her initial reaction that she hasn't had visitors
in a while.
Because she lit up. When I say she lit up, y'all, she was like...
Come out of the bed.
She was coming up out of the bed. And then all of a sudden it dawned on her that she just took her makeup off because she was still putting makeup on, hoping that somebody would come and visit her. And she was throwing in the towel for the day and just got done taking her makeup off. And in comes like 10 or 15 superheroes. And she lit up the room. I mean, she just got all kinds of excited. And she was like, please come in, please visit. And then she started apologizing about how she just took her makeup off. And, she's, that sorry she looks the way that she
Which,
done. But
to be completely honest, she, like, I couldn't even tell. Yeah. I mean, she was
fine. And she's like, I just gave up on anybody seeing me today, so I took my makeup off. And that one got that one crying. But so we just circled around her and we took a bunch of pictures and like Superman and Batman reached out there and started holding her hand for a little bit, and so then I stuck my hand in there, and she was like, "Ooh, Wolverine, I ain't gonna let this hand go.
I can't keep my hands off of you.
I can't keep my hands off of you."
Because he was standing next to her. She had her hands all on him. Like, it was so funny. And she's like, can't keep my hands off of you. And I said...
And I went, whoop, ready.
And I was loving it because he has that happen to him everywhere we go. The women absolutely love him. And so we keep going on and taking pictures and doing stuff, and she says it again, and I was like, I feel your pain. I can't keep my hands off of him either. And she looked at me, I was like, I'm his wife, and she was like, I'm in so much trouble. I'm like, no, baby, I understand. I can't keep my hands off of him either. There's plenty of women out there that are the same way. And she just died. She laughed so hard. It was such
I really wish we could have spent more time with her, but of course they were trying to get us to see as many vets
people as we could. And not to mention, this is the other thing. It's technically a holiday, but people have to work. And so there were people there. And what was really nice too to see was the people that were working there. They lit up too. They just thought it was the coolest thing. And it was funny because, you know, we were able to not only tell the people that were serving, that are in the military, because we know that, they're all veterans. And so we were thanking each one of them for their service. And it's always nice when you do that. And it's to somebody who doesn't get told that very much. And so we were able to do that, but then we were also able to thank the people that were there taking care of our veterans as well. Let them know that their time and service is appreciated as well.
And I'm going to just drop this nugget right here.
I can't keep my hands off of it. You're like, he's
and I'm probably speaking on behalf of all veterans here. And I saw this in an interview, and it was the best way to put it because I never could put it into words how I felt when people always would come up and say, "Thank you for your service, thank you for your service." I'll be honest with you, I hate it, and because I don't know what to say. You know, we don't. And
why don't you say you're welcome?
Because look, there are times that I feel like I didn't do enough. Or, you know, what could I have done differently? Or, you know,
I don't know.
Maybe I left too early, or maybe I could have fought them with the med board, or maybe I could have done this, or maybe I could have done that. You know,
hey, Cecilia.
And it's one of those that, and then you start thinking about the guys that didn't come home. And right. So it kind of snowballs.
Well, and that was one thing that we were talking about.
So what I want to say is, say it and then just keep walking.
Thank you for your service.
Don't
linger.
Don't linger expecting us to say something because most of us, we don't know what to say.
There you go. Thank you for your tax dollars. There you go.
You know, so just say it and just keep on walking. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding. You know, we all appreciate y'all. When you say that, it's just when we get that look on our face. It's
awkward. What do you say?
It's because we don't really know what to say.
Well, I know the ones that it's my absolute pleasure. There you go. And watch their faces light up. Sam just says, just did my job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always feel extremely awkward because I don't want to be like, oh, you're welcome. You know, like I did some big thing or something when, you know,
well,
it's like I just did my job. I knew what I was walking into.
But let's be fair. You chose to do something that some of us in here chose not to do.
Yeah, but I knew that going in.
Right, but you chose to do it.
Yeah.
So,
But in all honesty, y'all, I would rather see everybody in this chat find a VA hospital near them and go visit the vets.
Sam said something about you might have to fill out an application form to volunteer. I don't know. I'm not suggesting that you volunteer.
Well, then fill out the form.
But if you have to, then
fill out the form.
You know.
Because you never know what type you may make probably the absolute best friend you've ever had in your life.
Well, and that was one thing that was really cool. One of our younger chaps, he actually fell behind, and we were like, where did he go? And they had to go back looking for him, and he had gotten detained sitting talking to one of the gentlemen, and he just was totally just blown away. And we're like, dude, you have no idea. When you sit down with some of these guys, some of the stories that you're going to hear, I mean, especially some of the older vets. I mean, when we were at the parade, there were several Vietnam vets out there. So my husband doesn't think he deserves recognition because he never went overseas while serving. And I call it, yeah, if you took the oath, you took the oath. Yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying, if you go up to a vet, don't get offended if they get this weird look on their face when you say that, because...
Or they bobble. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I know that I've gotten that weird look on my face sometimes, and I've stumbled with what to say, and people kind of like, he must be retarded or something.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, if you have, find the time, because these individuals signed a contract which gave the United States government a blank check that the United States government could have cashed in at any given point in time, which could have been all the way up to their life. And they did it selfishly.
Selflessly.
That's why I said selflessly. Mm-hmm. And now they're alone. Mm-hmm. And we can't do that. That's like leaving somebody wounded on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was the lady we were telling y'all about. We all kind of went up and kind of gave her a last minute hug before we left. And she snatched me and pulled me in and gave me a kiss on the cheek. And she was like, I just want you to know I was having a really bad day. She said, and y'all just made it so much better. And I was like, I'm glad we could do that for you. Because, a lot of the times when we visit the kids, they're not very well spoken because they're kids, right? So they can't tell us. And several of them are, nonverbal, or they're so sick that they can't really, tell us anything. And so to have somebody give us that feedback was that's what killed me.
Well, I mean, look, there's been, and God blesses this ministry of the superheroes, because we've witnessed God so many times interacting with this ministry. We've had, this is the last story, and then we're going to get into the show. We had a little girl that one time, it was her birthday, and she was not communicating any way, shape, or form. She wouldn't smile. She wouldn't talk. She wouldn't, wave her hands or do anything. Nothing. She was just existing.
Basically catatonic.
And they had her in a little wagon, and they were just trying to get her out, to get her to start doing stuff. And the superheroes, we were coming through, and we found out it was her birthday. And so we sang. And Brian goes, "What do you think?" And she went.
And she clapped.
And she clapped. And you talking about doctors almost fell out. They did not know what to do. They were scrambling. And then all of a sudden we felt like we might have did something wrong, because doctors were just coming out of the woodwork, coming around like Marine Corps drill instructors when you got caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. And so we were standing there and we were all like, what did we do? What did we do? And the one doctor came over and he said, "Thank you guys so much." And we're like, "So we're not in trouble?" He's like, "No, you don't understand. We've been trying everything."
She's been completely unresponsive.
To get her to respond to something, and that's the first time she's ever responded to anything.
Yeah.
And so, this is definitely a ministry that, I'm not saying you got to dress up like superheroes, okay? But get into those VA hospitals and talk to them. Read them a book. I don't care what you do. Read them the Bible. And just talk to them. And you will leave probably just as blessed, if not more blessed, than the vet that you went and seen. Okay. All right, so enough of that. That's what we did today. So our show for tonight, we're going to be talking about Old Man Winter. He's coming in full force. He's coming in full steam ahead. And we got to talk about what we have to do to get ready for him. So let's put on our preparedness hats and talk about the preparedness side of it. We got to focus. One of the things that we're going to be talking about later on, but it's fire safety. A lot of us have wood-burning stoves or fireplaces, or it's finally in the South, we're like, whoo, it's cooled down enough, let's cook outside. All kinds of things. So go around, check if you don't have fire extinguishers, get yourself some fire extinguishers. If you do have them, check them. Look to make sure they're still fully charged. If you don't know how to do it, take it down to your local fire department. Your firefighters will check it for you free of charge. Make sure that they are good to go and in good working order. The second thing, we just had that crazy time-saving...
Daylight savings time.
Illuminati hoax thing. The only reason why I like the time change is because it reminds me to check my batteries in my smoke detectors. Go around. And to be honest with y'all, I don't even check them. I just pop out the old ones and pop in brand new ones. So that way, they got fresh batteries until the next time we do the Illuminati clock change hoax again. Space heaters, that's a good one. Mama Z, now, look, here's a thing about a space heater.
That you may or may not know.
One, if it was me, because of what happened here, I would, if you know what outlet they're going to be in, I would change out that outlet. If it's not a GFCI, the outlets with the little trip circuit breakers in them, change it out, put that one in there. It's not hard to do. We did a video on how to do that, and this is why. We had a brand new one of these, because we use them too. We had a brand new one of these in our seed starting room this spring. Well, yeah. And Robin had her baby chicks in there and some other stuff in there. And I was just coming in.
Thank you, April.
Coming in.
You were inside the house.
I was outside. I was coming inside the house, and I heard pop. And I was like, "What in the world was that?" And I started looking around. And about that time, because the door to our seed starting room is glass, and all of a sudden it was just full of smoke. And I opened it up, and the plug-in portion of it was on fire. Call it a little electrical fire. Now, look, this is not my brightest moment in the world. Okay, I'll be the first one to admit it. I'll be the first one to say, yes, I was an idiot. This is what I did. Now, picture my seed room kind of looking like this, right? Right there where the banner is, there was metal shelves. Metal shelves. Captain Moron here, not thinking, so all I saw was fire. Went over there and I grabbed said wooden shelves as support and started trying to stop the fire out. Well, praise the Lord that it tripped the breaker in the breaker box when the fire went, so there was no more electricity going to that area.
You would have been shocked. I would have burned up with it.
I would have got a little tingling sense. I wouldn't have killed me. It was only 110. But it definitely would have put me in a very bad mood.
Now,
that's for sure.
One other thing that we learned from this experience, and he left this out, is we had the heater hooked up to a extension to a.
Yeah, but I don't look. We don't even hear go back and forth with this all the time.
You're not supposed to plug a heater into an extension cord, period. Look it up. Look it up. It'll tell you. Don't put it in an extension cord. Put it straight to the wall. Flat out.
Yep. You're right. Just like you're not supposed to look at your cell phones and be on Facebook while you're driving.
I mean, I didn't say that you're not supposed to. I didn't say that you're not supposed to, because that's
saying those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
No.
I'm just saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying you're not supposed to do that.
But what I was saying in my defense was that was the highest grade extension cord.
That's
that
fine.
was outdoor grade extension
It doesn't
cord.
matter. You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Not supposed to. You're right. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to look at Facebook either.
And the only reason I bring this up is because at the end of the day, regardless of what you choose to do, I'm trying to give you the correct information, because that's what we try to do.
That's true.
And so the correct information is, and Jason gave the best information, and that is whatever plug you're going to plug it into the wall with, make sure that that receptacle has a GFCI, GCFI, whatever it is, that has the little test button that if there's too much power, it will immediately shut off.
Yeah, make sure your ground is good.
Yes.
It just may save your house.
Yeah. Is to get the CGFI circuit breaker and put it into the panel.
I've never heard of a GFCI circuit breaker.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna
have to look into that.
I'm gonna have to call you, brother.
But each plug, you can get a plug, and they're not expensive. They're under $10.
Yeah, they're like $7. Oh, they were $7 or $8. I think they're about $9 now.
Yeah, I think they're still under $10.
But at the end of the day, $10 or $11, house burning down. You know.
Because here's the God part of this story. Jason was supposed to be outside. He came inside last minute, and it happened while he was inside.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I had to poop.
If he had been outside, the house would have burned down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that whole area is nothing but particle board and wood.
And we had hay in there for Dessa's tortoises. We had the bedding in there for Dessa's tortoises, the bedding in there for the chicks. Yeah. So it was
it would have just gone up like a tinderbox.
Yeah. So fire safety, that's your prepping thing. You should have checked your water supply, your water filters from last week. That was last week's homework. This week, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, space heater plugs.
The other thing, because we got sidetracked on the space heaters, make sure that if you got to change out filters, if you have central heating, make sure your filters are changed out. And the other one is, if you have a fireplace or a wood burning stove,
the chimney,
check your chimney. And in most cases, you've got to burn
the last time that I had a chimney sweep come out to do it was a long time ago, and it was like $110. Now they didn't do a very great job with it, but you can get the stuff to clean your own chimney. If you're doing a wood burning stove, you just keep the door closed, take your cap off. You got the big brush, run it up and down. You know, they got the extensions for the rods. You can go all the way down. And then all of that soot and stuff will come down into your bottom of your wood burning stove. And then you can go in there with a shop vac.
Just clean it out.
Clean it all up, and it should be good to go. Your chimney now may be a little bit more difficult, but most chimneys now they've got the brick outface looking like an old chimney, but it's a piece of pipe that goes up, and there's a whole lot of room on either side. You can do the same thing with your wood burning stove, but I would take a bunch of plastic and seal off the front of your
fireplace. Yep.
or that stuff will get all over the house and your wife will be mad. But then you just clean all of that up and you'll be good to go. Now they do have one of those creosote burning logs that will help burn that stuff away. I always like to run one of those at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Because it's not, how much they cost is not worth not doing it. That was another thing I was just getting ready to say, is also make sure if you're doing a wood burning stove, make sure that you don't have anything really close. Like that's one thing that we do every night before we go to bed, especially once it starts to get really cold. We do a full sweep around, check to make sure there's nothing even close to the perimeter of the wood burning stove. We go a little bit further than 18 inches, but I don't know how many of y'all know Jessica from Rare Seeds. She, several years ago, they had a problem with that. Their wood burning stove.
What's the score?
Caught on fire. It's still that 20, what did she say, 2814? Yeah. So, unless they scored more. But, so it most definitely can happen. There's a reason why they want you to have, you know, the wood, the heat panels and things like that. So, definitely make sure.
And then clean out the ashes regularly. And it's definitely something that you can use. You can make lye, or you can just put it on your garden to
compost pile.
Compost pile, or put it directly as right now when it's resting, you put it on top of it. All right, so let's talk. Now that the prepping.
So now that we've talked about excuse me, I gotta get my foot up underneath me.
I really like that onesie. I'm just gonna tell you.
Can I show everybody my onesie that I got for $1?
I don't know if I want you to show them the onesie.
See, it's a one piece. See, it's very cool, and it's perfect for me. It's got pockets.
Okay, sit down there, please.
It's got pockets. It's got a little drawstring. Even has a little button for us women that don't want to be showing the world everything. But it's so comfortable. It's made out of cotton. And I went to a place called Bin Time at the beginning of the week. And it was Wednesday. And everything was $1. And we picked out, I think I got, a dress for Carol, a dress for Ladessa, some jumpers, all kinds of stuff. I think I spent $12 and got all kinds of neat things. So, anyway. I had to get my feet up underneath me. I don't like not having my feet up underneath me. So, Big Bear Homestead dropped a link in the... Oh.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
So, winter chicken dinner. This is actually... I really go back and forth that this wintertime is really my favorite time of the year.
I love winter.
I love winter. Which blows my mind that she says that, because when I bring up moving to areas that actually have a winter, not this long fall
today.
Not this long fall that Georgia has.
No.
I'm talking about actually winter with like
well, look,
snow up to your elbows.
You guys were talking about shorts earlier. I put out a short with the girls when we had that heavy snow. I mean, it didn't last long, but it was heavy for the moment when it did come. And I went back and looked at the or the date stamp on that, and that was less than 2 years ago. So it was January of 20.
I wear aprons.
It was January of 22. Yeah. 20.
See,
yeah,
now 22. That's two different people that want us to come to Pennsylvania. Because I wear aprons.
Don't move to Maine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love Sam.
That's my Uber driver's really letting me down.
Well, that's actually Karen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen. So I Wear Aprons invited us to move to Pennsylvania, and now Copper Kettle.
No, I won't. I won't move to Pennsylvania. First of all, it's Commonwealth, and I don't like Commonwealths. And it is a Commonwealth, right? Yeah, it's Commonwealth, I think. I think so. And 2, I like cold, but I like it for a short period of time, not a long period of time. That's just the way I am. And I like that when I go to bed at night, it's cold enough that when I wake up in the morning, we have to have a fire.
It's cold enough because I leave the window open and put a fan in there.
But then...
If you close the window...
No, I'm talking about out there. It's not blowing out there. And then, by lunchtime, it's warm. That's my idea of cold. Although, I will say this. I enjoy wearing, like, sweater, like, you know, like hoodies and sweaters and things like that. So...
I wear aprons. We don't have to share everything.
I just don't want it to be so cold that I don't like being freezing.
Well, here's my argument, and she has not been able to combat this argument. I can always put on more clothes, and I'm fine. It gets so hot down here. I can only take off so much clothes before I go to jail.
That's what the deep freezer's for. Go open the deep freezer and let it cool you off for a minute. We have a standing deep freezer so that all you have to do is open the door, let it waft all over you, and then you're good.
There's a solid argument for Maine, because that's something I didn't think about. Windswept Homestead said Maine is beautiful, but the if the mosquitoes don't get you, the black flies will.
I've heard that. And I have heard that the flies are pretty bad.
That's a decent argument. But okay, so back to winter. So now this is the time that you're putting your garden to bed if you live in an area where you actually have a winter, not unlike us.
Or like Geeky Gardens that says winter's my best growing season, but we don't do winter.
We can kind of grow all year round. In fact, we've got turnips and cabbage and Brussels sprouts and broccoli,
lettuce, cauliflower, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Out now. So you've put your garden to bed. Mm-hmm. You're mulching around your fruit trees or your soft fruit. If you've got to replace strawberries and some soft fruit, now is the time to do it. Some people say now is the best time to plant your fruit trees. Mm-hmm. That argument goes back and forth. I kind of lean on the side of, yes, now's the better time to plant when everything's dormant. It's more forgiving that you can get it in there, but you're also kind of knocking on the door for it being a little bit too late. Like, we can get away with it still.
I say we can, but
you folks in Pennsylvania and up above that frost line up there, you guys probably have missed the window already. Oh, excuse me. But this is the time that you make sure your firewood is stacked up in your woodshed. This is the time, this is also, if you don't have a hanging walk-in refrigerator freezer thing, now's the time, some of you, to do some butchering. You can hang, if you got a good 7 to 10 days of some good solid weather that's going to be below 50 degrees, you can actually process your own cow and let it hang. This is deer hunting season, or it's hunting season all the way around. And so you got a lot of activities. Trapping season's fixing to come in, so it'd be time to start monitoring. You should have been monitoring that predator population all season.
Especially during the summer, kind of paying attention to what your population's telling you.
Yep, and now's the time to thin out that population. Get it down into a manageable thing where there's more of their natural food source than there is of them. That way they don't go wandering and looking for your chicks, chickens, and eggs next season. What else, Mama?
you said stuff about making sure that you can cover up plants that are frosted.
I didn't say that.
So another thing is, like, I see some of y'all talking about how you still have things growing strong. Geeky Gardens talking about putting tomatoes out. I would, depending on where you are, if you have some frost tender stuff that you're trying to keep, definitely consider, covering those things up. It's not difficult. I know, people go all elaborate with building little hoops and putting plastic out and all this stuff. Basically, the concept is you don't want whatever you're putting over them, you don't want it to touch your plants. So I've even told, like, the girls, they can take just a rogue stick, put it in the center of the bed, and put anything. It can be a tarp, it could be a plastic bag, it could be we've even used like old curtains that we had, and we could put that stuff on there just so that the moisture gets on there but doesn't get on the leaves of the plants. And then just don't forget the next day to take them off and let the sun kiss them and keep the soil warm and things like that. So I would definitely, another good thing we did one year, if you go back in our Instagram, you'll see pictures where we actually took old containers, 2-liter bottles, things like that. We cut the bottoms off of them and we put them over top of all the plants, and that also protected the plants from getting frost on them as well. So depending on how many you still have sitting out that you want to protect, you can do a couple of different things.
But this is also the time where you can get to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor for a little while. But it's not time to go completely willy-nilly on vacation though either, because this is the time to start, because before you know it,
it's going to be March.
It's going to be time to start planting again. So this is the time to read over your notebook, for if you kept a garden notebook, if you kept that. It's time to look over it and what worked, what didn't work, what can you fix, what can't you fix. This is time to look over your breeding schedule for your livestock. Do you need to replace, is it time to replace your boar pig? Because it is for us. Is it time to get a new bull? Is it time to, all right, let's count back the days for our dairy cow. We really don't want her calving, during January, February, because it's super rainy here
and
for
honestly, if you're looking at that now, she's not gonna anyway, because she's 10 months, 9 to 10 months. So you're
but
looking
I was just saying,
right.
In general, you start looking at those things now and start trying to plan it out for the following year.
Definitely like your pigs, because your pigs are 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. So essentially 4 months from now would be the middle of like February. So you really don't want your pigs having babies.
Now's the time to go to rareseed.com and request that free catalog, or purchase the big fat one, and get that there and start to go through it and go through it realistically. I mean, look, I'm the first person to
It's nice to dream.
I'm the first person that stands up and says, yes, I want 2 seed packs of everything that you got in this book. Because some of the stuff that they've got in there is just beautiful. It's phenomenal. I want to taste it. I want to have the flowers growing around for my bees. That's another thing. If you have honeybees, if you haven't put them to bed, it's time to put them to bed. And what I mean by that is if you get a lot of snow, if you get cold, up there, you guys, Pennsylvania, New York, Maine, the little ones, Rhode Island, Connecticut, the Montanas,
even Virginia.
Yeah, even Virginia a little bit. You may need to insulate your beehives. We'll go into more depth with that kind of stuff in the after show tonight for the members, but those are things that, you need to do with those guys. But get those seed catalogs. Get those. Get your go to McMurray, get your chicken catalog.
And they've already started taking pre-orders, I believe. So if you haven't thought about that yet, you might want to start thinking about that too.
And in all honesty, I'll be, we did not have a lot of luck with the broilers this last year. A lot of people did. We didn't.
Although there was something that Joel told us about that I got to go back and look at the footage of what he told us and look at that and see what that is.
But we may still do some broilers, but we are going to go heavy into your dual-purpose breeds. Mm-hmm. We've been teeter-tottering with that for a couple of years now. Yep. And I think that God just showed us that we just need to go full-born, pick a thing. Now, we probably will order some broilers to be able to use them for some chicken butchering classes that we're going to do next spring. Mm-hmm.
I wish Stacy and Chris lived closer, because those American breasts I'd love to look into and see about doing those, but it's a good little trip. So anyway, oh, look who that is.
What's up, Devil Dog? Happy birthday, Crane. I want everybody to welcome Crane. He just popped up into the chat box there. He was one of my old staff NCICs when I was in the Marine Corps. He was my mentor.
I hear some great stories about you. So if you ever want to trade stories,
I
would love to tell you his version.
No. Anyway, so we're back on the topic of winter.
Isn't he the one that? No.
He's the topic of winter.
You got to turn red, baby.
Right, you completely messed up my train of thought there.
Back to the show.
Okay, so we're putting stuff to bed for winter time. So
mulch. Make sure you're mulching stuff.
Mulch. Especially your fruit trees.
Mm-hmm. Another cool thing that I would recommend doing is your areas where, for instance, where we had all of that pigweed. If it's manageable for you to do something to allow that to die, and then we had a really good frost and it killed a bunch of it. So now it's time to get in there and kind of get it out of there so that we don't have,
This is the time that if you want to start a new area or you want to start a new garden, here's a honey hole for you. Any of those little mom and pop choke and puke convenience stores, any little Ace Hardware, any locally owned store when that is receiving supplies in, they will give you cardboard boxes out. Trust me, they'll keep you busy, and they'll give you more than you can handle. This is the time to take those cardboard boxes, break them down, get all of the plastic shipping tape and stuff like that off of them, lay them down, wet them, let them start to sit down in there, and then start throwing wood chips or compost on there to weigh them down, because get it down now while those your weeds and stuff are starting to die back, or if they're already dead. You can do that.
Smother them out.
And this is time to start building that lasagna. So that way when the cardboard and everything breaks down, it's going to be feeding that soil from underneath, but you're going to be compounding the stuff on top so that those weed seeds never get the sunlight to start photosynthesis. So then that way you can choke them out. And choking them out is, in all honesty, is the key to not having to battle them when you are running your garden the following spring in the summertime. So get that cardboard laid out now in the new area. Get the wood chips and stuff on top of them. I like to start with 6 to 8 inches of the wood chips, and then as time starts to get closer, I'll start bringing the compost in to lay on top of those wood chips. So then I have probably almost a foot between the cardboard and the weeds underneath to the top where I'm going to be growing. This is basically, that's the no-till method that Charles Downing talks about how he does over there in England. It's the same stuff that Jess and them do over there at Roots and Refuge. You know, but she goes that one step further where she gets that black tarp to lay down. That stuff's expensive. I can't afford that stuff. So just lay down the cardboard, and the cardboard will break down over time, and it'll feed that soil. And so, you know, just get them in a good rear naked choke. Get those weeds, choke them out. They start tapping, just start giggling, just keep on choking. And because it'll save you so much headache in a lifetime. And then, if your garden's near a pasture or whatever, then that also helps your grasses in your pasture, because those weeds are not going to get out of control and go to seed and let those seeds come into your pasture. Because like our front pasture, where we keep our milk cow, butts up to what we call our row gardens. That's where we put our okra, our corn, pumpkins, the watermelons, a lot of the vining stuff that go there. So getting that stuff choked out, because I mean, at the end of the day, you'll never really know what seeds are in your soil. Okay? Salatin says it all the time. I've witnessed it. That's how we got that crazy hogweed. It's because we let the pigs come into an area and they tilled it up and they turned stuff over. Well, those seeds were lying dormant in there because they weren't
for however long, because we hadn't seen it before.
And so when the pigs turned that soil up, it kicked it up to a level to where they could germinate and booyah.
And then, of course, we perpetuated it by not getting out there and cleaning it out before it went to seed, and then it dropped more seed in the so. And
so, this is the time to be able to do that. Well, let's see. We talked about fire safety. Talked about plants, covering your plants.
Water.
Yes.
During the winter time, depending on where you are, you're going to have certain precautions you'll need to do for the winter. In some areas, you'll have to insulate some pipes if you haven't already.
Yes. Your pump house.
Yeah.
If your pump house is not insulated, you may need to get one of those heat lamps, or just since it's the Illuminati comes after you for the old time light bulbs. What are they called? How you say
incandescents.
Yeah, those light bulbs. Since you can't really get those anymore unless you know somebody on the black market. If you do, hey, send me an email.
I bought them like 15 years ago and stocked them.
You're gonna have to put a small wattage heat lamp in there just to be able to keep. Now, look, this is important because a lot of plumbing and stuff now is PVC, and it's not the copper or the galvanized pipe anymore. It's PVC. Yep. If that water freezes and it expands, it's going to crack and
pop
that PVC, and you won't know until it melts, and then you got a huge mess on your hand.
Huge mess.
You also, like with our well pump that goes up to the pressure switch, there is a small brass pipe that connects it down in there. The freezing and freezing and thawing, it will weaken that, and it'll get stress fractures all down the side, and that'll go at the most inopportune time as well. So get those pump houses, get the lights in there, if they're not insulated, get them insulated. If they're good and insulated, then you're probably good. The pressure tank and everything, which should generate enough heat to be able to keep it above 32 degrees. Underneath your house, if you have a crawl space, wrap those pipes, because the last thing you want is one of those busting on you. Make sure that your shutoff valve, whether it's to the house or up at the pump, make sure they work, because if you don't get to it in time and you end up busting a pipe, you do want to be able to turn that water off. Because if it's not working properly and the water not turning off, it's just gonna frustrate you and aggravate you. And you're gonna get mad, and you're gonna be like, Jason told us to do this, and this is literally a 30-second test. You know, it's just preventative maintenance. Boom, boom, boom.
Go ahead.
I was then talk about water for your livestock.
Well, one thing I was going to say is hoses. Remember with your hoses that if if you're running hoses to fill water, that you have the potential for those to be frozen. And we've run into that even here. We get cold enough. I have pictures for proof because I didn't believe them. There was actually chunks of ice coming out of our hose the night that we had our freeze a week or so ago. And so what I would suggest is understand that is a possibility. And so what I would recommend you doing is, most people do their chores first thing in the morning. I would say during this time of year, I would start to do if not your feeding, at least your watering in the middle of the day. Set it up to be in the middle of the day. That's usually going to be your warmest part. And you can go ahead and make sure that if you're rotating troughs or if you're doing waters for your chickens or whatever, that you do that towards the middle of the day when your hoses have thawed, and so on and so forth. Everybody's going to have different approaches to this because way up high, up north, they've got heaters around stuff and things, different things for keeping the troughs from, or busting ice on the top layer or whatever. But yeah, the other thing is always leave, if you're going to have a freeze, definitely leave a small trickle so that it keeps everything kind of still going. So that's definitely another good trick.
And don't forget about your water troughs.
Yeah.
And we're going to share some tricks in the after show about what we do when it comes to our water troughs. And so we've come to the point in the show here tonight that we got to kind of wrap it up. For our members, for Panda Bear and above, the after show will kick off here in a few minutes after we close out. Your Bible first for this week. We were in Ephesians, and we were in John, and tonight we're in Proverbs 16:9. And Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. So that's your verse for this week. Pray on it, meditate on it, chew on it. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with us tonight. We ran a little bit long. That's because a lot of that was us sharing what we did today for Veterans Day with the superheroes and going down to Augusta and the parade and visiting the veterans. Don't forget, I seriously, y'all, look to see where you got some time in your schedule. Go visit those men and women that sacrificed part of their life so that we could be free. Because freedom is not free. And these individuals gave the United States government a blank check for them to do whatever they wanted to do with their lives and their body. And the fact that they're sitting there alone in the hospital with nobody to talk to, nobody to hang out with, nobody to play checkers or chess or just talk politics, or you probably wouldn't want to talk politics.
Watch The Price is Right.
Watch The Price is Right. Watch a football game. Whatever. It's heartbreaking that these heroes have to fight these fights alone, and us doing that is leaving them wounded on the battlefield, and that's just something that we cannot do. It's unthinkable. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Panda Bears and above, give us the normal 10 minutes to shut this one down and get the after show started. And we will see you guys next week. Love y'all, and God bless. Now, this is the time where I whisper to you and say, say, don't forget to check out our wonderful sponsors. LogOx with your forestry toolkit. We talked about winter stuff tonight. That definitely is something that can help you with your firewood harvesting. And don't forget Steck and Coyote and McMurray, and get that rare seed catalog ordered. And don't forget to show us some love.